We looked at each level separately. These are proposed prototypes. By no means are they rigid or in stone. In fact, the elementary prototype was just shown to the elementary principals for the very first time on Thursday afternoon, and they are in the process of bringing together a list of pros and cons, which I'm going to compile and bring back to Dr. Curian. So the elementary schedule is proposed to be a 5-day rotating schedule. You have day A, B, C, D, and E. 4 days would be core instruction for students, where they would be immersed into ELA, math, science, social studies, and their I time. And then the 5th day, which would fall for different buildings in different places, would be the related arts teachers would immerse themselves into the building so that all of the core teachers could have their prep period, common planning, all of that on the same day. And you have 4 related arts subjects: library, art, music, health, and PE. If you look at this, some of the benefits could be that there would be intensive instruction for students, that you would be able to have built-in targeted intervention into the schedule. There would be structured I time for all grades in reading and math. We would be able to offer science and social studies every day, kindergarten through 5th grade. Currently, we're only offering it for half a year in grades 3, 4, and 5. And then common planning time for the core teachers, and then the related arts teachers would have a daily prep. On the intermediate level, you'd be looking at running a 9-period day. Right now, we currently offer 2 related arts periods. It would be 1 related arts period. We would be able to take and extend the academic time, kids' time on tasks and academic classes, from 47 to 57 minutes, and also offer teachers common planning time.
Good evening, and I had the pleasure of working on the high school division with some proposals. Right now, our high school students are required to graduate with a minimum of 24 credits with the opportunity to gain and graduate with 26. That option is available. We're trying to put some strategies together to improve our graduation rate. That is the whole main purpose of this, and right now, the 2016 graduation rate, Scranton High School, it was 74.51, and West Scranton High School was 74.24%. And over the last 5 or 6 years, it's been hovering around that number in the mid-70s. We would like to propose to reduce the 24 credit minimum requirement, and there is a grid in your packet that's available for our areas of concentration, with on the back of that a blueprint on how these courses could be laid out to 22 credits with the opportunity to gain 23. Our 5 areas of concentration are built on arts, math, science, STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, a career college readiness concentration, a career technology center concentration, and a workforce development, which is better known to us as co-op. All areas will require a total of 22 credits in order to graduate, as far as our proposal. This will allow students an opportunity to include at the high school level a period at the end of the day, which our schedule would not change. It's still a 10 period. The time schedules would still be the same. And the 10th period and the class instruction would still remain 46 minutes. A 10-period schedule with an activity period at the end of the day. And I also want to include many of our faculty over last year has developed and has met to work on our course catalog, which is on our website, which is our prescribed courses that are lead into our curriculum that will help us set this in motion. All students will report to an activity period at the end of the day, and the purpose of this activity period would be for a variety of reasons: remediation, credit recovery, academic academies, enrichment academies, extracurricular clubs, activity interest, and faculty department meetings.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any questions on that?
Thank you, Barb. Yeah, you work together so long, right?
Good evening. I would like to discuss the proposed changes to the preschool program in our district. Before you tonight, there's a resolution for your consideration to establish a full-day pre-kindergarten program for students who will be 4 years old on or before July 1st of the year that they start school, and kindergarten students would be 5 years old on or before July 1st of the year that the child starts school. Currently, our age cutoff is September 1st, and this would be just moving it back to July 1st. We're looking to maintain 14 preschool teaching positions and paraprofessional positions when we would establish the full-day 4-year-old pre-kindergarten program. The maximum class size would be 20 students in the class. Currently, we operate half-day programs with 22 students in a 4-year-old class in the morning and 22 students in a 4-year-old class in the afternoon. And we also currently have a 3-year-old program that would have 15 students in the class, half day in the morning or half day in the afternoon. Under this proposal, all of the classes that we would be operating starting in 2017-18 would be classes for 4-year-old pre-kindergarten program that would focus on kindergarten readiness. And some of the benefits of a full-day 4-year-old preschool program would be increased time to learn early academic skills, increased time to develop appropriate social skills needed for school success, time for teachers to provide individualized instruction, increased time for social and emotional development, increased time for small group instruction in reading, language arts, and math, and increased time to expose students to more advanced reading and math skills. Are there any questions on the proposal?
I have a question specifically for the preschool. It's more based off the elementary. On the core subject days, will there be breaks built into the schedule for things like recess? I know that was one of the...
Yeah, there were small breaks built in, and obviously you
Please just let her explain everything before.
just give me 5 seconds before
Thank
you
you.
move me. Just give me 5 seconds. That's all. I mean, there were small breaks built in to the schedule between each period. And obviously, we encourage people to be creative and utilize the things that are in the building to go ahead and to be able to move them around the building. We don't expect kids to sit in the classroom all day long. It's not possible. They're 5. They're 6. It's not possible.
Okay. My next question would be, this was something, I was fortunate enough to at least have a couple days in between to process the plan. It seems theoretically like a great idea to get kids, more instruction time in science, especially for a full year, and social studies, and former history teacher. What will each school, the entire 5 through K, will they be operating on the same schedule? Because I know sub problems could be an issue where a class can't get coverage and we have no Banner prep period. That's a concern.
For our substitutes, we have a plan in place to cover substitutes, and Mr. Gaynor will be working quite rigorously throughout the summer with Kelly to ensure that we have enough subs.
Karen. Ms. Keating.
Ms. Keating?
Keating.
What? I'm sorry.
Has these programs been piloted in other school districts? Have we studied them? Are they working in other school districts equal to our school district?
I did not.
They have not been.
No, I did not.
So we did do research on these schedules, and in talking with people who are involved in the arts and arts education from the college level. They feel that this type of scheduling is cutting edge. For our students and our teachers, it should be interesting and engaging. Children would be able to look forward to what was coming on those days. There would be an increase in our teacher planning time, where they would have longer blocks of time to work with each other to integrate arts, music, health, PE, and safety into their areas, which would strengthen their particular areas. And in turn, our itinerants would be able to learn more about what's happening in your classrooms and be able to support what you're teaching through the arts. Of course, this would involve professional development for those teachers who don't feel comfortable with integration, but we do have many resources at our fingertips to help us do that.
You can't do it all in one day with the arts. You can't do it.
In addition,
Thank you.
Instead of shouting out right now, I think what we'll do is we'll wait for the public meeting to give everybody their opportunity to come up to the podium and give your piece on each subject and how you feel about each one. Because I don't think we're going to get anything solved by just shouting out. So I think if we can just wait until the public meeting, we'll give everybody an opportunity to come up. And everybody will have an opportunity to come up. Thanks.
Possibly just picking a particular elementary school and maybe piloting it?
No, to be very honest with you, I didn't tell principals about this till last Thursday. So there hasn't been time. This has to go before principals, they have to get feedback to me, then it has to go out to teachers, they have to get feedback to me, to community members, to stakeholders and parents. This has to go through a process. This is a prototype, and that's why I said the words prototype, because when a prototype is rolled out, it has to be vetted through different channels. And this, at this point, needs to be vetted.
I agree.
So you're not looking for an answer anytime soon, is what you're trying to say?
Well, there's no resolution on the board tonight, for this tonight. No, it's a proposed change, it's a scheduling change. Scheduling changes, though, are different than curricular changes. So you have to look at, there is not a resolution. I did not bring this to you for resolution. I brought this to you for you to hear, for your support, or not your support.
Am I right? We're looking at this, every one of these versus discussion resolution on the agenda.
There's not a resolution for a master's
on the
test.
board
Oh, the
meeting,
masters, okay.
yeah. And if you recall, Mr. McAndrew, at the committee meeting, we talked about the need for a resolution to do schedule changes, and we determined that we do not need a board resolution to do changes within a school, but we did ask for the board's support in moving forward with this. I used the word resolution.
Yeah, what I do remember is referring to that fact that you don't need our permission to do so, but I still think that there has to be some great discussion
And we agree.
and feedback and
Aaron,
there's got to be a plan A if you're still here.
Aaron, how long has this been in planning?
At least since September of this former year, where we have begun to talk about these things. And I have reached out to the SFT president on at least 16 different occasions, requesting that we have conversations. I was not responded to. Then I began to ask for teachers to serve on committees to help us discuss through these things, and I was not responded to.
I'm just curious because this is news to me.
Well, it should be.
As president of the board, and the board, you know, it's new to me
No,
that I don't
it
see.
shouldn't be new to the whole board. I believe there were some conversations.
Take this off the table. Any master schedule building. Okay? I ran a high school for a long time. I ran an elementary school. You do start planning, like in the fall, you start looking at the next fall. And in all the high schools, and the high school people here know, January, beginning of February, your schedule selection sheets are out. We're on hold right now because we're trying to get the curricular pathways approved because there's course changes to our schedule selection sheets. When you run a building, in all actuality, by April or May, you're starting to build the master schedule for the next year in hopes that you know staffing, for an example. If you're going to make a change somewhere, and I want this change to go through, I need to be able to come to the board or to Dr. Kieran to be able to say, hey, I got this idea, but this idea is going to cause me to have to go to Mr. Gaynor and ask for more people or whatever my plan is. So in any school district, right now, your junior high schools, your middle schools, your high schools, course selection sheets are probably out. If you're going to make changes to an elementary schedule, the same thing. It was just given to those principals. Literally, Thursday at 2 in the afternoon, you can pull my Google Calendar up, they got it in their hands for the first time. And I said to them, I know you're going to have issues, and I know you're going to see both sides. Try to get me something in written form by the beginning of this week. Now, I was out, in and out of the building all day today. I haven't gone through all my emails yet, so I don't even have all their feedback yet. But I'm going to compile all of the pros and cons from our administration, and they're going to go right back to Dr. Curry, who, of course, will relay everything to you guys.
And the board members were informed of these discussions taking place, and I think they would all agree they had an opportunity to at least understand we were looking at working on something.
Well, a lot of this contents, I have to say that a lot of this contents is the first time, like Aaron says, I seen it Thursday afternoon when I talked to you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I asked you to send the package immediately down to me so I could take a look at it. That's the first time
Does anybody want to comment on?
I did hear the proposal at the education committee meeting on Thursday. I did want to hear the pros and cons back from the teachers, and I think it would also be a good idea for the solicitor to take a look to see how that goes with their.
And I started with the principals. That's usually where I start most things. Hey, here's something. And then, as I've only been in the district for 3 years, but as most people know, I'll go out in the building and I'll find people, or like Mr. Lesh said, you do something, if you're pilots going in different buildings, you go out and you see how it's going, you sit with people and you talk to them. That's the process.
Yeah, and I agree, it's a good start.
So something this big, obviously, we have to get feedback. And I think the principals needed to wrap their heads around it.
So you're agreeing that this is not something that we're looking to speed through?
I am not
We need to
agreeing or
look at
disagreeing
it,
with anything, Mr.
study it.
Sheridan. I am presenting to you a possible change for the elementary day. That change for the elementary day is something we're bringing before you for your feedback and input.
Thank you.
I think it's important to say that, it's good to be progressive and have ideas and things like that, but I have to say this is the first time as well that I've seen it, and something that has implications as big as this has to really be considered and really vetted before we move forward. I appreciate your effort to this point, and I appreciate everyone's effort to try to
For the record, Thursday afternoon was the first time anybody saw it. Thursday night, publicly at the education committee meeting, was the first time that it was brought out. So no, that's where it is right now, and that's why we're in work session right now. I'm not just saying, here's a resolution, guys, I want you to vote on something. I'm saying, here's something we're talking about, here's something we'd like to do, here's here's something we're looking at, and you're showing me what path you want me to go down now.
And I understand that, I appreciate your effort, I truly do.
Thank you.
Before I sit down again, is there anything else I can do for anyone?
The exercise anyway.
Well, I told you I used to be a theater major, so if you want, I can put on a little show for everyone right now. I'm
Thank you, Aaron.